I'm good. What did you just say is different about us?
We're not sure. We grew,
Yeah,
you said.
yeah. We don't know why. Do you know why?
Different angle, I guess.
Okay, we happen to make it work. We're coming early this morning because I do have a clergy session. The bishop's going to start at 9:30, so we've got about 20 minutes till that starts. And do you remember what I wanted to talk about today?
It's early in the morning to be remembering these
All
things,
right.
Ned. Let me think.
You want me to tell you?
Why don't you just tell us?
Okay. Tell me, what do you think of when I say the word evangelism?
I kind of think of witnessing.
Okay, and what does that look like to you?
Well, it's kind of scary to me, personally.
Why is it scary?
If you're maybe sharing like the gospel plan, to me that's kind of scary.
Yeah, it is scary. And yes,
As opposed to doing missions like if you were serving someone at a meal.
yeah.
But just to be sharing the gospel would make me very uncomfortable.
And that's a great distinction. Yesterday, when I made a prelude to this, I said there was going to be some yelling. Are you ready for me to tell you a story in which there's a little bit of yelling?
All right, do some yelling.
Okay. I served with the Air Wing in California with a rescue swimmer, Jeremiah Rivera. He was with HS4, our helicopter squadron down at North Island. And Jeremiah's a pastor now. He's a great guy. But Jeremiah talked about the first time that he witnessed to somebody. And it was someone in a park sitting on a bench. I don't know if it was a man or a woman, but Jeremiah walked up to this person and goes, "Do you love Jesus?" And the person was kind of scared, and they go, "Yes." And Jeremiah goes, "Fine!"
Oh my goodness.
and walks away. So yeah,
That's not a good example of evangelizing. You're going to scare somebody off.
You are, and that's not what we're trying to do. Evangelism to me is sharing the Word of God, but it's also about building relationships. And I want Trinity to think about this. The members of the Long Range Planning Committee have gotten a couple emails from me about evangelism and worship and hospitality. But evangelism is sharing the Word of God, and it is building relationships with people outside of the church. By sharing the Word of God, we can think about what we do in worship. We can think about what it's like for us to be on the internet now, and maybe that's something we need to think about, even in terms of the Long Range Planning Committee, because we're probably going to be on the internet for a while. You know, we have Luke Miller. That's a wonderful blessing. We don't have AV equipment of our own, so we might have to talk about, is there anything we need to help Luke? But yeah, that's something we have to consider, how we get out the Word of God. And that's why I was talking to the church council last week about some phone opportunities, robocalls going out, being able to record the sermon so people listen to it during the week. We want to think about how to get out the Word of God. Not just how we need to, not just the basics, but how we want to get it out and how we want to witness for Jesus Christ that way. So it's getting out the Word of God, and it's also building relationships, going outside of the church, meeting people where they are. I had an idea for evangelism this week that's not going to work. Do you want to tell people about that in case they don't know?
I was passing out donuts and coffee.
Yeah.
Like on a 6-foot leash or a broom or whatever.
Okay. Well, no, that was later in the week. Okay. And why? So you're tipping my hand. Why would we have to use something 6 feet long to give people donuts if they were in a car? Because this was a drive-through thing.
Because of social distancing. Good old COVID.
Yeah, and it's even with the technical assistance manual that we got yesterday. You're still supposed to maintain 6-foot distance even from people in a car. So as Debbie Albert came in yesterday, this, we realized, okay, this probably isn't going to work. But I was just thinking if we could give out donuts in the parking lot, drive-through style, like I read a church in Norfolk or Virginia Beach was going to do for dads and grads. I thought that might be a good idea to get us outside, or even doing it at the farmer's market. And
you could put them on a table and they could come up and pick up a box of donuts.
And that's almost one of the methods for communion. But with the farmer's market, Annette looked into it and they said, no, you can't do that right now because of COVID. So, but, be thinking about evangelism. Be thinking about how we can connect with people outside of the church. Be thinking about what we want to do to get the word out. Not just need to do, but what we want to do, what we can do to get out the Word of God. Because really that's what evangelism is all about. And it is scary. I think the number one fear with people when it comes to evangelism is they'll be rejected if they try to share their faith. But as United Methodist, one thing, this is what my mentor, Dr. Georgine Blanton, told me during my internship. She said, as United Methodist, when we witness, we don't say you need to be saved, we say you are saved. So think about what we can do outside the church, and think about how we can share the Word of God and spread the Word of God. And that's what evangelism is about to me. It's not about yelling,
Thank
do
goodness.
you love Jesus? Fortunately, the answer was yes, right? So, all right, so we done for the week?
We're done for the week. Y'all have a great week.
Got about 15 minutes to
Weekend.
my webinar starts. Thanks.
All right.
Bye.